Yo, family, right? New day. We're going to go over liquidity today, most likely. Actually, you know what? We're going to go over liquidity because why not? Fuck it. Okay, so for liquidity, we're actually going to just talk about the main parts of how it works and how it actually takes place within the market. So whenever you place like a buy or sell, I'll go over and explain of how it actually works, right? But to basically, go over the main part of how the liquidity goes, right? We're just gonna go over it and actually dive into it because it's one of the most crucial, but it's also very misunderstood in terms of the concept of it. So obviously, in this point of the series, we're just gonna try and get you to understand how and what liquidity is and like how to actually use it as your advantage, just how traders use it to their leverage because um that's just the main part. And if you haven't if you've just started watching these videos, please refer to the videos previously because you don't want to just skip past, or unless you're just looking for this specific video. But first off, we need to first go over what do we mean by liquidity, right? So liquidity refers to resting orders in the market, and basically these orders, they haven't been filled in yet. So basically think of it as stop loss orders or take profit orders or limit orders waiting to be triggered, and they're just waiting in the queue, those specific orders, right? And these resting orders act like reservoirs of capital that they get tapped when price reaches certain levels. So basically, in other words, liquidity equals potential movement, right? As you can see, the market cannot move without liquidity. That's just like properly. So that's exactly what we want to go over, right? And specifically, right, when enough orders are resting enough, right? When they're resting enough, they accumulate at a certain price level, and it becomes attractive to certain big institutions and stuff like banks and hedge funds, and they want to execute those big trades, right? So like, as you can see, right, let's look at the buildup of liquidity here, right? You can see from these wicks, those are huge liquidity, right? Those are huge liquidities coming out from here, from here, here. You get the idea, right? And um, from those points, right? From those specific points, actually, let me go to 4 hour. And from those specific points, you can tell that there's a liquidity like dump into the sense, right? Okay. Also, we're gonna refer for back to the previous video, or no, from the first video. Basically, right, whoops, basically we were looking at a trade for a sell, right? We looked at a sell trade from like right here. So we placed a sell trade like literally right here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right here. And the reason why we done that was because of this doji right here, because that's a bearish doji candle. Due to that, we just sold, which obviously shown that there was pressure building up within the entire thing. So we sold like right here, actually. I think it was right here we sold. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we just got a little sidetracked. I just want to go over from the first video because of this specific doji. Anyways, let's go back into it now. What I'm actually talking about is rest orders, right? And within just orders in general, within liquidity. And basically, okay, think of it as this, right? Imagine you're trying to buy 1 million shares at a moment's notice, right, in a thin market. But if there aren't another, like, if there isn't enough sellers, right, you'll push the price up to dramatically fill in the position that you made, right? And big players like banks and hedge funds can't afford to do that without some finesse in the market, right? And they need liquidity because they need clusters of orders, stops, order stops, basically stop limits, and that they can be able to touch and fill in their trades without killing the market. So basically, their job often becomes find the liquidity, take it out, and flip the direction, right? And let's break this down now. Okay, let's break this down fully, right? So we were talking about how the market, we'll just do like an upward direction, right? and we'll show how liquidity actually works within this, right? So there's liquidity from wicks, as you can see, which happens from time to time, as well as just when the banks want to, right? So now let's look at this. You're placing a buy, right? Or you're wanting to do a buy, right? But do you see why it goes down within this exact price? That's because there are orders within the institutions that leave in those like that have liquidity sweeps, and it just that have like certain liquidity sweeps and different structure shifts because of that's how the market is structured, because that is due to the resting orders. So since there are resting orders, right? So within the banks, right? So let's say you place a buy here, right? The banks may, right, do like a touch and go from like here, and then that might flip the market into like for it to go downwards, then shoot back up, and then they might do the same thing with the banks, right? They might do it again and then shoot back up. That's how usually the market usually runs in terms of like bullish liquidity. But if we look at it in a real life example, right, you can see there's clear resistance from like 460, like right here basically. But if we're trying to place a buy, let's say we placed a buy, right? We placed a buy from here. There's obviously so much liquidity in resting orders throughout this entire thing. So like right here, it goes down. Right here, it goes down a little bit. Right here, right? But then when it reaches a big enough part, it just dumped. Like, it just dumped when it reached an entire part. So like, as I stated before, right? Literally what I stated before, what the main job is for these institutes is to find liquidity, take it out, and flip the direction. So, you found the liquidity, which is through here, right? You found the liquidity. Now, you're going to start taking out the liquidity by actually... Okay, so actually, yeah. So, sorry, you wouldn't buy from here. Well, like, most people would buy from here. That's an amazing buy. You really wouldn't get wicked out that much. But let's just say you bought from here. So, what actually you can see is, right, from here, the banks have actually tried to take you out. You can see, right? That's why whenever you try and place a trade and you feel like, why is the market always going against me? Why does it feel like that? That's because the banks and the hedge funds are trying to make moves and take you out. So then that means they can leverage from it and actually make their own trades and make the money instead of you as the retail trader. You got to understand that you're at a huge disadvantage whenever you're trading because you're going against these big top institutions. Okay? It's you against them, right? You're trying to win this entire big like thing, right? Because if you win, you did an amazing job. There are people that's been in this field for like 10, 20 years with PhDs. They have HFTs, high frequency trading, auto traders and shit. They have better equipment, better technology. They have better experience than you. You're trying to, make sure you don't get caught up within this liquidity cycle, right? So let me just explain it again. Find liquidity, take it out, and flip the direction. That's what institutes do, right? That's literally what they do. Also, yeah, by the way, I might just like call it out. If this comes back up right here and it resists, I'm just gonna sell from here and I'll just post it in my group. I just wanted to quickly say that again because like, it's whatever. I just seen a sexy downtrend, that's why. Anyways, that's what we're trying to aim for, right? Actually, if it breaks through here, then I'll probably sell. Or if it goes through here, I'll sell. I'm between these two. Because why not? Right. What were we talking about? Sorry. Yeah, the main part. Now, let's say we did a buy here, right? We did a buy right here. This is perfect, perfect. Yeah, but guess what? You got wicked. You did a buy through here. Amazing. You're going to try and get stopped out. Let's say you done like a buy from here. You would potentially try and get stopped out from here. If you did a buy from here, I mean, not really would happen, right? But let's just say you try and do buys and stuff, right? Now, within these, right, buys and these specific orders, the banks have tried to take you out, or like the institutes and stuff, right? They try to take you out. And let's say you reach it, you're trying to hit TP or whatever, and guess what happened? Boom, it shuts down. Now, this is the process that I want to talk about, right? Because this is what I'm trying to look at. You can see so much liquidity trying to take the traders out. You can see the liquidity trying to take these traders out, the retail traders, which is you as the retail trader, right? They're trying to take you out, right? And you're trying to be like, nah, I'm not trying to get taken out, bitch. So due to that, you're just gonna like, obviously hold, or what you would do is you would just place a buy order from here, trust your fucking, what's it called, strategy, and then you just like wait for it to TP, right? But what I done was I did the complete opposite because I'm just opposite, right? I don't know why. I'm just built like that. I'm built different, right? What we done? We placed the cell like around. We placed the cell from like right here. We placed the cell from like right here, right? And then we pretty much just layered it. So our stop loss was like right here. And then what happened was, obviously, as you could tell, the banks proceeded to try and take us out, which we had a high enough stop loss, which worked out pretty well. And we increased that stop loss a little bit to just make sure we don't get wicked from the market. And then we decided to short from here again and layer. And beautifully, it ended pretty well because our TP was around 4409, like literally on the dot right here, full smack TP. Same with this trade right here, full smack TP. Like right here, it's on my group. I posted it on my TikTok. It was amazing. Everyone done well with this swing trade. But say the least, right? We're gonna go back into it now. Sorry, I just got a bit carried away. But that's how I would interpret it, right? You need to stick to your strategy. Try and look for points of liquidity and think where you may think you may get taken out of, because the market tries to take everyone's orders out. That's why you have that feeling of like, yeah, if I place this order, the market might try and take me out of this and liquidate me, stuff like that, because that's the point, and that's where you want to look at, because this is where it comes into play, right? Support and resistance zones, right? We're going to go into that in the next video. That's where you're able to grab through stop orders below, and you're able to just like get into that. Like, look right here, right? There's a stop order right here from all of these orders right here that bought, right? There's a stop order right here. So what you would do is you would buy. But since what they've tried and done is they've tried to wick you, so when you stop loss to break even here, you may get wicked out, or your stop loss may get hit if you have a type stop loss. So that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. There's support and resistance, which I'm going to teach you after, right? And you just need to look for confirmation, because that's where market structure and shift comes in to, like with the higher highs and higher lows and the break of trends. And that confirms that liquidity was taken and there's a new direction in the Bible, which has happened here, right? Market shift changed, right? So if we look at the higher time frames right here, there may show a downtrend, right? Now, let's get into this, right? I'm going to give you some new rules that you should use whenever you trade, right? Never enter before confirmation. So whenever you look for trade, never enter before confirmation. Take notes. I'm actually going to take it with you, okay? We're going to do this together. Number one, right? Number one right here. It's going to be never enter before confirmation, okay? And basically, this is just like waiting for a structure change after a sweep. So like, wait for a Starak. I can't spell right now. Starak. Yeah, I can't spell. Sorry. Holy, I need to go back to school, mate. Wait for a structure change after the sweep. There. Number two, another rule. We're gonna do. Don't trade blind levels. So don't trade blind levels. And basically what I mean by that is just like use confluences like trend, direction, and just like the time of day in session. So which we'll go over that, right? So we'll just say use confluences like trend, i.e. trend and direction. Third tip, we'll do understand context. So, and further of that, we're just going to talk about use higher time frames, which we've spoken about, and also the trend must align. Number four, manage your risk, because you're most likely to get stopped out. So we're going to explain liquidity sweeps in a second, because this actually popped up on my head. So it's just basically liquidity sweeps can trap you, as well as like wicking you out, etc., right? Always use your stop losses. and expect how do you spell fucking volatility from gold, especially. Amazing, beautiful. Right, this is absolutely amazing. I don't know how I've managed this. I'm proud of myself. Right, those are the main points which you wanna write down or whatever. Right, I'll give you a second to write that down. Okay, beautiful. Right, let's go over liquidity sweeps now. Basically, I'm just going to give you like a nice overview on what liquidity sweeps are. Liquidity sweeps is just basically when there's so much momentum in the market. Basically, what the banks and institutes do is just they try to they find all the liquidity, they find a certain point, and they just touch down and they just stomp it over. That's basically in a nutshell. We're going to sell gold here. 1 second. Boop. And boop. And 1 second, guys. Sorry, we're just quickly telling everyone to sell gold. Done. Okay, we sold gold. Right. I apologize. I'm just gonna quickly find a stop loss TP and then we'll just continue with the video. So we entered around like here. We'll put our stop loss to 4035. 4035, and then we'll just place our TP around to 1 second. Let's push it a little bit, right? Let's play off this trade a little bit. Let's use this as advantage, right? Because the market's just trying to go down a little bit more. I don't like it very much, but you know, it's pretty sexy. 1 second. Let's be more realistic here. That's fine. Right. Bear with me for a second, guys. I apologize if you can hear the baby crying. That's just my life further. 4013. So we enter in 4013. Our TP would be at 3993. And our stop loss would obviously be at 4035. Follow money management. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay, basically I'm just posting a signal onto my group as we speak right now. I apologize, but this has to be done because I gotta keep the kids happy, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. I'm joking, I'm joking. They're not kids, bro. You get that idea, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, like I was saying, okay, let's just like, I don't know what to do with this trade, right? We'll just like leave it as it is, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful. I mean, it's dropping nicely. I like that. Anyway, let's look at this, right? It's a pretty good example. We used a pretty nice stop loss. We used, obviously, a good entry since this broke through this entire part right here. So pretty much almost broke through support. It's just now probably going to dive bomb towards TP, which is at 3993. This is like the next layer. Usually it's at 4K, but like, you know, we'll push it a little bit because that's what I usually do. We push it, we just book profits or whatever. Someone just asked me to full pour. Who do you think you are, mate? I'll slap you with that example. Full pour a sell. Who do you think you are? Huh? Who do you think you are? You didn't learn anything from my trading videos and from my risk management calls? That's absolutely devastating. I'm joking. Don't kill me, don't kill me. I know you're gonna watch this video and you're gonna feel like killing me. I'm joking, okay? Relax. Anyways. Yeah, so we're explaining liquidity, right? Liquidity sweeps. So liquidity sweeps is just basically where you find a bunch of liquidity, and that's what the institutes do. They find liquidity, as I said, blah blah blah, and they just make it shoot down. That's basically in a nutshell. They just try and go for a bounce back or a retracement, whatever you want to call it. That's just how it works. I mean, really, that's pretty much the day in a life of a institute thing. I don't know, whatever you want to explain it. Anyways, let's go over a recap and then we'll go ahead and end the video or whatever, right? So, recapping basically what's going to be next, okay? So, we've went over that liquidity pretty much equals resting orders, so like stop limits in the market. And the big players, they need liquidity to fill in large orders, and they will target zones of liquidity sweeps and then push price upwards, right? And then a structure shift confirms that the sweep was valid. So obviously, as you can see, there's a structure shift which has happened from here, and from that, pretty much 1 second, sorry, just my script is just like really all over the place. And then from that, we're just gonna say there's a structure shift basically that confirms the sweep as I've just mentioned, and you're only meant to take orders, or you're only meant to take trades after confirmation, and always stay within your risk parameters, right? Pretty much it. I mean, what else did I need to go over? There was someone on a TikTok video. He mentioned something like he didn't get the breakout structure, so I think we should go over that real quick, right? Yeah, we'll go over that. Why not? Why not? We'll go over that. Okay. So in breakout structure, we were looking at how it actually works, right? In terms of it, so we mentioned like about the O, right? Can we like move this? I'm actually gonna crash out any second. What? Like, can you just hide? Thank you. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? I actually disabled me. You're actually giving me brain damage. Right. Okay. Beautiful. Now you see the O right here, right? I usually look at it as in the O and the height of how the trade works, right? So basically, if the bearish, right? I mean, if the bullish candle is lower than the bearish, that just basically gives me like a break of structure moment because of how everything is placed out. So like within these three orders, right? So within this candle, no, within this candle, and this candle has been bearish. This candle will most likely be bullish because the bullish candle is lower than the bearish, and that just causes a break of structure. Same within like here, same within here, same within here. I mean, it's just pretty much like everything, how it goes. I'll have a full dedicated video based on breakout structure if that will help you, because right now I'm just trying to look over liquidity, but you know, as it is, right? I apologize, this video is a bit snappy and a bit all over the place. It's just that's how I find liquidity. Liquidity is one of those things which is pretty confusing and most traders don't get. So what I'll do is, right, I'll actually try and remake this video, or I'll do like a liquidity part 2, and I'll actually make a script or something, or like a proper big, like, you know, full on thing for me to follow, and I'll explain to you guys, okay? So I'm gonna post this video. You'll have a good one, and just ask me any questions through my Discord, Telegram, or just on the comment section, alright? You'll have a good one in a bit. Also, I just wanted to quickly go over the straight hit full TP. I was literally like trying to cut stuff from the video. I look back at my chart, and yeah, full TP. Yeah, join on my signal group. I don't know what to say. Bye bye.